Welcome to First and Goal, where everything is made up and the points don't matter. Get ready for the latest and hottest topics in the SML. Let's get started. Here's your host, Mad Bomber.
All right, welcome to First and Goal. This week, we've got Primetime 000. We've got Finz, straight from Canada. We've got Lawyer outside barbecuing and getting drunk. And we've got QP. He's a last-minute addition, but who knows? He could win. All right, so let's jump right into topic number one. Let's play Matchmaker. All right, so we have the new Madden 22 coming up. What teams do you want to see matched up in a division? You know, last cycle or coming into this cycle, we saw Dump chasing Meats, and they had a little rivalry this cycle. Who would you like to see matched up next cycle? And we'll start with you, Prime.
Yeah, so I had a matchmaker for myself and then a matchmaker for other people. And for myself, my ideal division is Raider Fan 74, Hova returning to the SML, Terrible Two-Step, and myself. That's my ideal division. Now, for other people, here's my dream division. AFC West. You have Mike FML as the Chargers. I read your content, Bomber. I agree that's a good team for him. Paulie is the Broncos. Ooh. So Paulie's got his good defense. He's got some receivers that he wants. RD is the Raiders, and Dump is the Chiefs. So there, it's like this dynamic. A lot of people don't like each other in that division. Dump and RD go way back. Of course, Mike and Paulie don't like each other. It'd be a lot of drama, a lot of good players on a lot of good teams, and they would just battle it out. And I'm assuming it would be between. I really don't even know who'd win that division most of the time. I really don't. That's the fun part of it.
It won't be Raider, that's for sure.
I think Mike would be fourth, but that's about it. So,
all right, Finz, what do you think?
I took this in a couple different ways. I went with like some rivalries just for certain people. Like I had Mike and Paulie in the same division. I'd like to see Dump and Meats again. Bomber, I know you're gonna hate this answer, but I'd love to see you and DW in the same division.
I wouldn't mind that.
So I think just a lot of rivalries. I also think it would be cool to see if we can get like a all clique division and all Thanos Club division, all Bushwhacker division. And then like a kind of like a fantasy scenario. I don't even know if this is feasible or not, but you know, moving into the next cycle, it would be cool to have like a division of previous champions from the previous cycle, all in one division, just kind of battling it out, having some epic regular season battles. And that also kind of lead to some parity too, because guys like me who are probably going to never make the playoffs might have a little bit more chance making it in there if we did that. So those are some of the ideas that I had there.
All right. Lawyer, what do you think? You've been around a while.
What do I think? So for myself, I would love to see one of my old division rivals come back to the NFC South. My guy, Future Empire, you know, when I started out in the SML, he was one of my biggest rivals with the Buccaneers. So I would love to get that going again. And then if Prime wants to bring Jonesy back to the Carolina Panthers,
man,
we can throw it back to 2017, 2018, you know. As for on the whole, I would love to see a division with Prime, Bomber, Dan, and Dump. I would love to see that division.
Yeah, that'd be a fun division, but I don't think anybody's taken the Texans before 32, so that might.
Well, Dan said he would go wherever Prime went, so let's see if Dan is all talk or if he's really going to.
He said that last year. He ran fast, man. Faster than Usain Bolt, he ran.
Yeah.
Hey, preachers believe in the word. Come on, Dan.
He does believe in the word, not much of the action, though. So, QP, what do you think?
So I have three different ones. I have two that I would consider like super divisions, and then I have one that I would just personally like to see. The first one would be probably like the AFC North, and having Dan as the Steelers, maybe have Meats as the Ravens, because I know he loves the scrambling quarterback and to roll out, and then have maybe Dump for the rivalry of Dan and Meats. Put Dump as maybe the Browns, because he likes to run the ball a lot. And then for that fourth spot, I'd like to put Paulie in there, because Paulie is always on Dan's head. He always loves to make comments to Dan and say stuff to Dan. So I would like to see those four in one division. Another division, I would like to see Prime with RD. Because they have a thing where Prime is constantly calling him boring. I would like to see Prime take the Colts. I'd like to see RD go with like a Titans because he's a run-heavy guy. He would have Derrick Henry, and then maybe throw in like Mike because he's always hyping up RD, so it'd be somebody that he's rooting for constantly when they play each other against Prime. And then I can't think of a fourth one off the top of my head right now.
Let's throw Faz in there as the
division.
Jags. I like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, Faz as the Jags because he's really wanting the Jags. I know Trevor Lawrence as his team, all of that. So that'd be a really tough division.
Are you guys trying to make Mike go like 0-6 guaranteed every season, or what's going on?
We're trying to make the 8-8 goal as hard as possible for him, so that feels like his Super Bowl when he gets to it. And then my last division that I'd like to see, it was one of the ones that you guys kind of had on Heat Check, which was the NFC East, where I would like to see Graham's kind of back on top in the division. I'd like to see him as the Cowboys, maybe put Clink as the Eagles since that's his team, and throw in whoever, maybe a Raider fan is somewhere, and maybe Noel. Throw in one of those guys, and I'd like to see Graham, constantly being on top and kind of establishing himself again amongst the OGs that are in here and that kind of have been kind of falling off, but they need to come back before they, ride off into the sunset as a forgotten group of guys.
I'll gladly take one of those teams in that division.
Yeah. See, there you go. Get you as the Redskins or something. I doubt they'll fall that far.
I like it.
All right. So QP wants to see Graham's on top. So let's move on to topic 2. Topic 2, some scheduling improvements. Does anybody have any suggestions for some scheduling improvements? We had Rowan this week. Kind of go to the last minute. Meats went to the last minute. You guys think we have any way to improve scheduling? Finz, we'll start with you.
This one was a little bit tough for me because as I said in chat when we were talking about this, I haven't had any issues so far since I've been here. The one thing that I do struggle with though is the kind of the needs of the few over the needs of the many, right? Like we have hard advance times and the battle that sometimes people have between, their home life and jobs and whatever. And then you have people like me and you, Bomber, and most people in here that have schedules that are a little bit more wide open than others. When I was running leagues before, that was always that tough battle, right? Where you have people who are always tend to be near the end of the advanced times, but then you also have people who are sitting around waiting because they tend to play their games. Like I'm usually one of the people that tend to play my games in the first day if I can. I don't like to sit around and wait. I don't really have any ideas though to improve scheduling. I think you guys do a really good job of, keeping people on track. Bomber, you post the picture of the DL like daily almost to remind people when people are playing. Gort sends out those reminders for people to schedule all the time. So like I don't think there's any complacency right now. I think right now it's just a fact that with it being summer and people are just busier with their lives. So I don't have any ideas on how to kind of improve anything.
All right. So a simple no would have worked, but that's fine. Lawyer, how about you? You got any ideas?
So if I had to offer my opinion on how to fix it, we could bring ZZ back, and then if there's 1 or 2 games on the last day, ZZ can just fat finger advances like he always used to do and move things along. Here's the thing. I was scheduling Rowan last week. He was unavailable any of the times I wanted to be available. As soon as I said, hey, man, I'm really tipsy right now, he was available then. So all you got to do if you need to schedule with Rowan is tell him you're too drunk to play. He'll be available and he'll get his games in.
All right. QP, how about you?
I would say, luckily, Prime is not going to be scoring the buttons here. But with GroupMe, it's hard to kind of have it because you have to have a separate chat. And I would say, like, having a separate chat where kind of guys have their windows of free time where they're mainly available. I know it's in a day-to-day life. It's hard to keep up every single day if your schedule is going to be the exact same every time. But pretty, I don't say a window of time that you guys have in a separate chat, and I think that would be the best way to go. But as far as scheduling, I'm a Pacific time guy doing the third shift, and I haven't missed a game yet on my time. So I think scheduling is great with the guys. Everybody is pretty available for the most part. I make myself available for the most part. I know that it's hard for guys to play after 11 p.m. So Eastern time, which is 8 only for me. So I try to get my time in that small window, and I think a lot of guys do as well. So I don't really think there's a lot of improvement for scheduling, in my opinion. And a simple no probably would have been good for me as well.
All right, Prime, last word on this
Yeah,
one?
I guess to rebuttal QP, I think that little separate chat would be cool to have people view what times there were, because sometimes I'll annoy people and like tag them when their time's already scheduled. But as for actually helping get the game scheduled, if people won't respond to a DM and clearly communicate their times, I'd have a hard time seeing how they're going to go into this extra chat and then post it there. But guys like QP make it very nice to schedule. His and ours schedules were kind of opposite, and he was just very, very concise, very good with it. That's how you schedule. Now, all that said, I think we take all the necessary steps to kind of promote good scheduling. We did the 10-point eval score now moving forward, so we'll be a little more strict on that. I tag people, Gort posts, Bomber posts pictures. So we're doing all that stuff. I think the only thing that we could do is um, maybe kick some millennials out, some guys who aren't used to just living by a schedule yet. You know, Rowan Kuh, Gen Z, he doesn't care. Meets Gen Z, he doesn't care. Some of these younger guys, it's only the
Facts.
younger guys. It's only the younger guys. Faz, I think Faz is older than me, but Faz can't keep a schedule. But one thing I would like to see come playoff time, and I think Bomber mentioned this, when I get good internet, when I can commentate games, is building commentary teams so we can commentate almost every playoff game, and we could kind of schedule these games into specific time slots. I think that would be cool for playoff games.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
I
think there's
agree.
anything wrong with the way we schedule as far as the procedure and all that. It's just getting guys to commit to a time instead of, whenever I'm available, I'll hit you up with a 10-minute window.
Yeah, I think Rowan Kuh said something in chat. He's like, "Yeah, it's just something I don't have control over." It's like, dude, how do you not have control over your own schedule? Like,
Yeah.
that I was like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Well, because
But
my
it is what
question to
it
him
is.
would be, what are you doing at 4 p.m.? If you're not doing anything there,
Yeah.
then let's schedule a game. It's simple. But
It's funny.
all right, so we'll move on to topic 3. Topic 3, I don't know if you guys all got a chance to listen to what was it, dumping the field or drunk on the field or whatever he renamed play in the field to for the dump episode. But on there, Dump said that if he had one issue with the SML, it would be cheesy defense and guys sitting in zone the whole time. What do you guys think about that? And we'll start with you, Lawyer.
Well, here's the thing. Everybody knows in the league that man defense is broken, first of all. But myself, I like to mix it up. I like to call a variety of things. But here's the thing. Dump, he prides himself on his passing game. Dump's trying to get everybody. He wants to hoodwink the league into calling more man defense because he has all the speed guys on the outside so he can throw for more passing yards. Don't fall for it. And I'm not going to cry over cheesy defense against Dump.
All right. QP, what do you think?
I was gonna side with Dump, but Lawyer hit it right on the head as well. He sold me right now. But I agree to a degree with Dump as far as just mixing it up and throwing a man defense, maybe 2 out of every 10 plays. I used to play in a league where it was one man. You had to call one man play every 5 defensive plays. And that just was to ensure people didn't sit in a cover 3 and different variety of cover 3s all game long. But on the other hand, I do see what people are trying to do as well. Because if everybody had to call a man against Terry McLaurin, and I would really love it as well. And if they had to do it against Brandon Ayuk and DK Metcalf and all these guys that have stars out wide that can't really be guarded one-on-one, it would be favorable, and it'd be probably a lot more cheesy. Just because it'd be hard to stop. So I would say keep it as is because it's hard to gauge. And you don't want to sit there and look at the gameplay and what the guy is calling and being like, he hasn't called a man yet. You don't want to focus on, every X amount of plays being called and you're like, well, this guy hasn't called a play. And then you're DMing the admins and saying, hey, can we make sure people are doing this? And it'd just be too hard to monitor, too hard to gauge, I think. And personally, I don't think we have a big problem with cheesy defense. I would say more so with running the football. I would say that would be my thing that I'd like to change. Somehow make blocking or something worse because it's ridiculous
Speak
how
on
many
it,
good running
QP.
backs.
Speak on it.
That's about it. I don't have a problem with the defense though.
All right. Prime, how about you?
Yeah, so obviously being in a sim league, you try to replicate the NFL as much as you can, and I did some studying on this actually, and I think it was like from 2018, the average NFL or the most man coverage like the top team would use in man coverage is about 45% of the time, whereas the most zone heavy team used zone coverage about 75% of the time. I'm guessing the average SML team uses zone coverage 85 to 90% of the time, roughly. I'm guessing. I use it probably 90% of the time. Um, there's some guys who use combo coverages. I've dabbled into that. Bombers dabbled into that. QP dabbled into that against me, where you man up a linebacker on a running back, or you do something. I like that. The problem is you can't always reflect the NFL. For example, Chip Kelly went to that no huddle offense a few years back, and if we tried to allow that to happen, people would have an aneurysm because it would just be cheesy guys going no huddle nonstop. So sometimes you can't replicate the NFL 100% of the time. And calling man coverage 45 to 50% of the time because the game is broken, you just can't do it. You're going to get torched. You're going to get torched. So what we were able to do is we say mix it up. Call your cover twos when you can. Call your cover threes. Call your cover fours. Call man coverage when you can. I don't have a hard line like a run pass ratio, but what we were able to do recently because of game update is make people have play call limits. So, and I watched Dan have to do it. He had to add in defensive formations because he couldn't sit in the same formation and call the same 5 or 6 plays every time. So I'm hoping as Madden progresses, maybe man coverage will get better and we can enforce something. But right now, there's no way how I'm going to go through a game and watch how many times somebody calls a man coverage and track that. I am not going to do that.
Yep. All right, Finz, if you could give us a non-metric answer.
I don't even know what that means. I'm not someone who pays attention to what my defense is playing. That's probably reflective in my record. Like I literally just kind of, I'm going to pick this off into play and just go. I did kind of agree with what QP, sorry, not QP, Dump was saying because, I mean, if we pride ourselves on being sim, you want to try to, as Prime said, simulate the NFL play style. But I think Prime made a really good point at that time that it is really, really hard to police unless you have an admin watching every single game or going back and watching replays of every single game and kind of tracking play calls, right? It's going to be really hard to kind of see. Now, I know this far in the cycle, everyone kind of, except with the exception of me because I'm really new and maybe D-Muse and Clink, I guess, there's not a lot of game tape on us. So we like for Lawyer, for example, you guys have played with him for a long time. You kind of know what he does. Prime, you said you have the same playbook. You've had it for like 5 cycles or whatever. People know what you're going to run. So it's you kind of have to have that honor system, right? Where like, you know, you signed up, you read the rules, you know what you're supposed to do. When Madden breaks the game, for example, I have really good defensive backs, but they're all basically man coverage guys. They have kind of lower zone, really high man coverage. So I do call a lot more man than I do zone. And as you guys said on Heat Check, I've given up 143 points, right? So I think I need to probably kind of add a little bit more zone into my gameplay. But I think I can agree with Prime here. It's really hard to kind of police that. Like he said, there's no way he's going to go in and watch every game and check the ratios. It's just really hard to do.
Yeah, and he'd have to watch every single play of every game. And some people don't stream. So you're not going to be able to see their play call. You're going to have to rely on what you're seeing on the field. And with Madden being broken and half the time the zones leave their zone and follow a guy, you wouldn't even know what defense you're looking at.
Yeah, and just to follow up, a nice thing is like if somebody breaks a run pass ratio rule, you can just simply hop on Daddy Leagues, look at the game recap, and do some math in 5 minutes and figure that out. I mean, it's just.
I'm sure that was going to be a really good point too. Maybe he's just pausing for effect.
Okay,
Nope.
5 points.
Yeah.
All right. So Prime with the technical difficulties. Oh, and he's disconnected. Maybe he's back now. Maybe not.
Guy's a
Oh.
diva, always making us wait.
Oh, that's going to be negative points. We're going to take 5 points for that.
I can't hear him.
Neither can I.
Does anybody hear Prime? I
Nope.
can't hear him.
Can't see him either. Can you see him?
Prime, are you there?
All right, moving on to topic 4. Maybe we'll catch up for topic 4. For this topic, so if we look around the standings right now, you've got Paulie at like 1-3. You've got Figs at 3-1, I think. You've got Matt at 4-0. You've got QP. You're sitting at what, 1-3 now. There's a few teams that have kind of flip-flopped from being on the top to now the bottom, and vice versa. What do you think is going on here in season 40? And we'll start with you, QP.
I think strength of schedule got me this year, and I say that. Well, one, I should beat Rowan. I think I should beat Rowan personally. I think I'm better than him. So that's a loss that I shouldn't take. Me and Demuse should probably split because we played so many times, and his style of play, that lull you to sleep style of play, always gives me struggle. So that's another loss that I could take because we do split often. But then I have Prime, the GOAT. I have Faz. I have RD. I have Bomber. I have Dump. I have somebody else I forgot who in the AFC probably.
Lawyer.
So I have a pretty do I have you this year? Lawyer. So
D.
so I have all these guys that, and 6 or 8 of them were in the playoffs. I think I play every playoff team that made it last year. And I played 3 of the top 4 that made it in the AFC and NFC conference championship. So this year, I think strength of schedule, and I'm down early, but I might get up a little bit later on. Who knows? A lot of really important games coming up. But I think for me personally, just based off of me being number 1 in my division since I've joined, I have a tougher schedule than some of these other guys that have constantly placed 3rd and 4th.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Finz, what do you think? We'll skip Prime till maybe he comes back.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with QP here. It's just a matter of schedules, right? So I kind of went ahead and just kind of broke down everyone here. So for me, for Matt, like I've played with Matt for a long time, and I know Matt gets a lot of shit here, but he is a pretty good player when he wants to be. Matt's issue is himself. He gets in his own way. Like he has this really good running back and then just decides, you know what? I'm not going to run anymore. I'm going to practice passing, and just makes really bad decisions throwing the football. But him being 4-0 doesn't surprise me because I know how good he can be. And his schedule going forward, like I think he's got 5 games where he probably so he plays Dan, Prime, and Faz later on. Those are probably going to be losses. And then he's got DW in future, which those both games could go either way. So I think I got him at like a 12-4, 11-5. I think he's going to win that division. Figs, he's had a pretty favorable schedule to start. He's played Tiny and Field, and I can't remember who else he's played.
Mike,
like his schedule
was the other one.
Mike. Yeah. So it's been kind of like the opposite of QP's schedule to start, where it's been winnable games. And, you know, he's not an 0-16 player. He's better than his record. So his schedule moving forward is kind of, there's some winnable games in there, toss-up games. So he's probably going to win, I think, 5 or 6 games total. Paulie's had some tough opponents to start. I don't, division games are, when you play someone a lot, like division games, there always tends to be some kind of upset style happening there every now and then. So those, although I don't think losing to Matt twice is an upset, even though Paulie's kind of handled that division. Paulie's got some tough games, you know, because he's got that first place schedule that QP had mentioned. But he's probably going to win a wild card. For QP, as he said, he's already touched on, his schedule's been tough to start, and he's got some tough games moving forward.
Doesn't get easier.
Yeah, he's got Faz, Dump, Bomber, RD, 2 games versus Clink, which they could go either way. And then I know he said he's better than Rowan, but Rowan isn't a pushover. So I'm not disagreeing with you, QP. I'm just saying that he's not a pushover, right? So
yeah, exactly.
I actually think you're going to miss the playoffs, QP. That's a tough schedule forward, and you got an uphill road. So I think it just all comes down to the schedules.
All right. Lawyer, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm going to take Prime's time since he's not here right now.
All right.
I would say I am surprised at QP's record. You know, QP, I think he's one of the better players in the league. So I would look for QP to turn it around and get on a run and make a push for the playoffs. Figs, I don't know what Figs' record is. I don't care what his record is. Figs is going to catch an L tonight at 10 o'clock. So that's all you need to know. Paulie, maybe some of his speed guys are regressing. You know, Paulie and the all-speed offense on the outside at running back. You know, maybe he's coming back to where he truly is. You know, I was in the same division with Paulie last year. I think the division that he's in this year may be playing a little down. I think Paulie seems to appear to be a little bit better than he actually is because of his division this cycle. So he's probably coming back to where he truly belongs. But QP, I look to turn it around. Figs is catching the L tonight. And thank you for giving me Prime's time to talk.
All right. And Prime, do you have anything to say? Nothing? All right.
Yeah, I don't hear Prime.
No, I
Like
can't even
playoff
see him.
Mike.
Can you guys even see him? Nope, nothing.
I'm
Okay.
talking to him in the chat right now.
Oh,
He's not here. Don't worry about it.
okay. Let me hang on. Oh, there's Prime. We got him
Oh.
back.
It worked.
I'm here, Bomber, right now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you
Wait,
now.
Prime, are you here? Prime?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, tell
Prime, are you
tell
here?
them they have to leave the call and come back.
Oh, I guess that'll have to be -5 points for each of the members that can't hear me.
No, I'm heartbroken.
All right. So,
He said in the chat, he said leave call and come back. I don't know if he means all of us or
so
just him.
Prime.
I don't know. So he says all of us
Topic
should
4,
leave the call.
what's going
and
on
then
with
come back.
the guys that are upside down? What do you think?
Yeah, so with QP, he had to play me, so I understand why he didn't
So can I.
win. There's some other guys like Figs who actually went to.
Or this
the
is going to
school
really test your
tonight.
editorial skills.
Dude, oh my God, Finz is talking over me. This is really bad right now. Can we just skip this? I lost. I concede defeat.
All right, he concedes defeat. I don't even know what I'm doing now. I'm like all messed up on this.
Can you guys hear me? Now I'm curious. Can anyone hear? Laura, can you hear me?
I can hear Finz. I can't hear Prime. Prime, are you here?
Yes, I hear. Oh my God,
He's just dying over there right now.
QP, can you hear me?
I can hear everybody.
You hear Prime?
Yes, I've been able to hear Prime the entire time.
That's hilarious. You should translate so you can be his puppet.
Oh,
All right, so with that, the winner at 56 points is going to be QP. Lawyer and Finz both had 55.9, and Prime conceded. So QP, these 30 seconds are all yours.
I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping I lost because I'm a little too hyped to go on a 30-second rant. But I'm gonna say, NFC East, I'm coming for you. I'm 1-3 right now. I'm probably gonna take a couple more L's coming up, so I might be 2-6 or 2-7. But after that, I'm gonna be about 9-7 by the end of the season. I'll catch you in the playoffs at the 7th seed.
All right.
That's probably 10 seconds, but
That's
No,
Substitute
QP
about
didn't
10
really
seconds.
win. Of course, I won. So, in my victory lap, I'm going to say we need to popularize the new SML hashtag kill abilities. Hashtag kill abilities on all your tweets.
No way, I won, and I'm gonna say, why can't we?
I think there's
run
an
commit?
editorial skills. Oh, sorry, I was trying to talk over him.
all right. Well, thanks for being on, guys. I know it was last minute for UQP and actually really everybody. We didn't come up with the topics till this morning, so thanks for being on. And this has been First and Goal.
Thanks for listening to First and Goal. Be sure to check out Mad Bomber TV on Twitch and YouTube for the latest from the SML. And we'll see you next time on First and Goal.